Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. Bienvenidos todos a esta noche. I'd like to acknowledge, first of all, my superintendent from the Oxnard School District, Dr. Miller, and Paula, his wife, who came tonight to be with us, and Trustee Dennis O'Leary's wife, Viviana, who's sitting at our table. My family, obviously my partner for life, my wife, Irene, for 35 years. My living daughters, Shoshi Quetzalcin, Tonancin, and my son Anawak, who was supposed to be on a plane tonight, heading to London with his wife Annabelle, but changed his plans to be here today. And my grandchildren, Shelina Quetzalcoatl, as he's known as Yaya, Diego, Lolo, and my brothers and sisters who came a long distance to be here with me, Jesse, Rosa, and Chole. They're triplets, just I mentioned them in that order. And I'm very proud that they're here. And my brother Jose Luis and Irma, my sister-in-law who came, and also my beautiful sister-in-law Lisa, Jesse's wife, and my niece Alexis and Ian, who are here. I would like to dedicate this award to my grandfather, Jose Cruz Gomez, who was a revolucionario, a cristero, a deportee of the 1930s, and the founder of the town of Ramon Corona in Mexico, where I was born, who was ahead of his times. In the turn of the 19th centuries, he was a self-educated man who strongly believed in education. He was the key individual to set up the first school in his dining room, to hire the first teachers, and later to build the first school in the town. An extraordinary individual. Tonight, we honor the unsung heroes of our community in Ventura County, our educators, our administrators, and counselors who are the driving force behind education. First, let me congratulate my fellow inductees to this distinct inaugural Ventura County Educators Hall of Fame ceremony, who unselfishly carry the ball for more yards, tackle more challenges, and save more lives. Also, let us thank Darren for realizing the dream, rather the need to honor those individuals that affect all our lives. Let's give him an applause. And in the immortal words of the late President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt, who yelled to his Rough Riders charging up in the Spanish-American Wars in the San Juan Hill in the Philippines, he said, "Don't flinch, don't fall, hit that line hard." A model that I hold true today. Educators are those Rough Riders, challenging their students, never flinching when their students don't understand a concept, never falling, giving up on a student, but meeting their every need until the light turns on inside. The honor of a maestro, teacher, is the success of their students, however big or small. And it is the sole job of the Tlamatini, the teacher of the face and heart, to unmask the Mamastiani, the students, to discover their true potential within. Untapping that potential is the challenge of each and every maestro who tries to discover the keys to unlock their students' secret learning modalities so that their students can become equipped with the necessary tools and abilities to meet head-on the challenges before them by applying themselves without fear or failure or success. Educators, maestros, wield a powerful position in the life of their students. They are responsible for making their students successful or failures. Their words have a lasting impact in their lives. As Jaime Escalante corrected himself as he was told that his math students at Garfield High School in East Los Angeles, that he had taught them an incorrect step to resolving a mathematical problem in the state's advanced placement exam in calculus. Mind you, his students were accused by the state officials for cheating, which was false, simply because all of them incorrectly used several similar methods of answering the problems. But as a true educator, Mr. Escalantes diagnosed, prescribed the correct methodology to solve the equation, proving his critics that his students did not cheat. His students went on that year to score the highest scores in that state's exam that particular year. Hence, a teacher's word is a gospel truth to their students, and no one else can influence them otherwise, even if they try to sway them only after their teacher approves or acknowledges that difference. Which reminds me, when I was teaching third grade in Marina West, I had a conference with one of my students' parents. She explained to me that she had tried to help her daughter do her math problems one night, but they got into a big verbal fight because of the math problems. The child accused her mother of not knowing how to do them. So I invited the parent to my classroom at the time that I was doing math, and I had the mother do some of the problems on the board, illustrating another method of doing it. Once I told my students, see, this is another way of achieving the same answer. The student listened, her daughter listened, and accepted her mother's method reluctantly because it wasn't Mr. G's way. Likewise, I have to thank Mr. Guy, who told me, don't be a grease monkey, go to college. So he redirected me into college prep courses. And also Mrs. Nichols, my high school counselor, who 2 weeks before graduating from Roosevelt High School, mind you, I never seen her all year, called me into her office to inform me that she had nominated me to receive the Los Angeles Times scholarship grant after she discovered in my CUNE results of a psychological profile that was administered to me when I was in elementary school at the age of 5. And mind you, I had just come to the United States from Mexico. She was alarmed to read that I had an IQ of 75, and she asked me, what are you doing in college prep courses with a GPA of 3.0? I told her I was trying to go to college. She responded by saying, don't you realize that you're supposed to be in special ed classes because your IQ profile indicates that you're mentally retarded? I was stunned, but she went on to say, somehow, somewhere, along the line, someone inspired you, and you beat the odds. Sad to say, when I was a senior at San Fernando Valley State College, now known as California State University at Northridge, I and also several of my classmates in my senior year were asked to work in an elementary school. And we were asked to give a similar test to Spanish-only speaking students, but only in English. You can guess the results. Wouldn't it be an IQ of 75? We walked out in protest. Instead of being bitter, I made it my pledge to myself at that point, if ever I became a teacher, that I would put a stop to this injustice. Our duty as educators is to ensure that our students discover their potential by providing them with the necessary keys, preparations to unlock the mysteries. As educators, our greatest challenge lays on the right key that for each student that we need to find for them to unlock that doorway to their success. Where would Mohandas Gandhi be, Dr. Martin Luther King, Cesar Chavez, if it wasn't for an educator to inspire them to their potential and role in history? Today, we honor a few great educators in our community, but I have been blessed to meet many other great and deserving educators out in the community who quietly do what they know best, teach. And they do it in the obscurity of their homes, classrooms, parks, streets. These individuals, with one single word, can inspire beyond our dreams, like Luz Maspinosa, Coco Aguirre, Gabino Aguirre, Tony Zubia, my compadre, Don Salvador Bravo, Jacinto Canek, Cesar Chavez, Dolores Huerta, Bert Corona, Dr. Rudy Acuña, Fermín Herrera, Luis Valdez, just to name a few, who have crossed my path. Extraordinary individuals deserving the true title of being a maestro, a teacher, a Hall of Famer. In Mexico, when a community knows that you're a maestro, they respectfully address you, maestro, bowing their head as they shake your hand as a badge of honor and as a sign of respect, because you're a person of integrity. Today, our schools are facing new and greater challenges. On June 2006, I retired after 33 years in the Oxnard School District so that I can continue my work in an artistic environment, to be able to enhance the artistic talents of our youth, adults, because of the disappearance of the arts in the school system, because of the lack of funding and the shift in priorities, because of the academic necessities to meet the AYP and API scores, forcing schools and teachers to intensify their math, writing, and language programming. They are being forced to meet higher standards, in turn putting more demands on them and their students, a discouraging reality that is scaring the best teachers away. And lastly, we cannot forget the greatest teachers in all our lives, our parents, who have laid the initial foundation to our education, who entrusted their children to us, the educators, to mold their lives. Let us pause at this moment to salute our parents for being the first to force us to realize our potential when we reluctantly accepted the truth. Please join me in applauding our parents. This award belongs to them because they are the true quarterbacks who scored more points. And lastly, I do want to thank my father, Arturo Gomez, who came with my stepmother, Luz, to be here with us this evening. And in closing, I want to say that education is a key to liberation. And as Cesar Chavez once said, that the end of all education should surely be the service to others. Mishikatiawi, siempre adelante, always forward. Thank you.